morning, students. Last class we are discussing about how to find the errors, how to find the maximum possible errors in the case of addition, subtraction, in the case of multiplication and division. Those we completed. Now see the next one. If z is equal to x power n, find the percentage error in the measurement of z. Find the maximum possible error in the measurement of z. Like that questions will be there. So take logarithm on both sides. Log z is equal to what will happen means log x power n. We can write this as log z is equal to n into log x. Then if we differentiate this one, delta z by z is equal to n into delta x by x. This is the relative error. Delta z by z will be called relative error. Delta z is equal to n into delta x by x into z. Using this will be maximum possible error. Maximum possible error will be n into delta x by x into z. Delta z by z into 100 is equal to n into delta x by x into 100. That will be called as the percentage error. Okay. To find the percentage error means delta z by z into 100. This value n into delta x by x into 100. This formula we will use to find the percentage error. This is maximum possible error. This is relative error. This will be the percentage error to find the values of, to find the errors. Next, that is about errors. Next, after finishing of this, let us see what are significant figures and what are the rules to identify the significant figures. Clear? What are significant figures? What are the rules to identify the significant figures? In the same way, in the examination, what they will give a number. They will ask how many significant figures are there in this. How to calculate that one? Let us see about it. Clear? Okay. What is the definition of significant figures? How we will define this one? Okay. The number of digits which are certainly known. The number of digits which are certainly known plus one more digit, one more uncertain digit. One more uncertain digit in any measurement are called significant figures. any measurement, last digit will be always some uncertainty will be there in any measurement. Last digit there will be some uncertainty. Then which are certainly known, the number of digits which are certainly known plus one more uncertain digit, the total number of digits will be called as the significant figures. Okay? What are the rules to identify significant figures? What are the rules to identify significant figures? Totally 5 rules will be there. What are the rules to identify? Let us see. Significant figures. What is the first rule is all non-zero digits. All non-zero digits in a given number are significant. All non-zero digits in a given number are significant without regarding to the location of decimal point, if any. All non-zero digits in a given number are significant without regarding to the location of decimal point, if any. What is the meaning of this one? They gave one number to you. 1, 1, 3, 2, 5. One number given. 3, 2, 5, 4. This number. How many significant figures are there in this number? Means all non-zero digits will be significant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many significant figures are there in this? Means 6. My point is clear? So, which are non-zero, each digit will be considered as a significant. So, here totally 6 significant figures will be there for this. For example, 1132.54. It is also having 6 significant figures. If the decimal point is there, decimal point is not there, no need to consider that decimal point without regarding to the location of decimal point. If it is there, if it is not there, no need to consider the decimal point. All non-zero digits will be significant. For example, 1328. It will have how many significant figures? 4. 1.328. How many it is having? 4. Clear? Without regarding to the location of decimal point, all non-zero digits will be significant. That is the first rule. Next, what is the second? All zeros occurring between all zeros occurring between two non-zero digits. All zeros occurring between two non-zero digits are significant. are significant without any regard to the location of decimal point. If any, okay, all zeros occurring between two non-zero digits are significant. Actually, zero is not significant. If the zero is occurring between two non-zero digits, then that zero will also be significant. For example, 1008. These zeros are there in between two non-zero digits. So those zeros are also significant. This number is having 4 significant figures. Is my point is clear? So here these two zeros are in between two non-zero digits. Those will also be significant. Clear? Next. 109. It will have how many significant figures? 3. 1.09. It will also have 3 significant figures. Without any regard to the location of decimal point. If decimal point is there or not there, decimal point is not there. No need to consider that decimal point. Zeros occurring between two non-zero digits, that we will consider it as the significant. First point clear? So what is the first rule? All non-zero digits are significant without any regard to the location of decimal point, if any. 0 or zeros in between two non-zero digits are significant without any regard to the location of the decimal point, if any. Next. Third. If the number is less than 1, the number is less than 1, all the zeros to the right of the decimal point all the zeros to the right of the decimal point, but the left of the first non-zero digit are not significant. If the value is less than 1, if the number is less than 1, all the zeros to the right of the decimal point, but the left of the first non-zero digit are not significant. For example, if you take 0.00512, so this number is positive but it is less than 1. Clear? Or if the number is less than 1, all the zeros to the right of the decimal point. This is the decimal point. These zeros are right of the decimal point, but left of the first non-zero digit. Left of the first non-zero digit are not significant. So these two zeros are not significant. So here how many significant figures are there? Means 3. Clear? For example, 0.00102. How many significant figures it is having means these two zeros are not significant. But this 0 is significant because it is in between two non-zero digits. So number of significant figures in this number will be equal to 3 is understanding. So zeros to the right of the decimal point and the left of the first non-zero digit. This is first non-zero digit. For that how many zeros are there to the left? Those are not significant. Clear? So that is the rule number 3. Next. Rule number 4. What are the 3 rules? Tell me. All non-zeros are significant without any regard to the location of the decimal point, if any. Zeros in between two non-zero digits are significant without regard to the location of decimal point, if any. Next, zeros to the right of the decimal point, if the number is less than 1, zeros to the right of the decimal point and left of the first non-zero digit are not significant. Next, fourth one. Fourth one will have 2 parts. What is the first part? See, all zeros to the right of the decimal point are significant if the number is more than 1. Next. Second one. All zeros to the right of the last non-zero digit after the decimal point all zeros to the right of the last non-zero digit after the decimal point are significant. Try to understand this one. What is this rules? All zeros to the right of the decimal point are significant if the number is greater than 1. For example, 10.5900, it is there, one number is there. This number is greater than 1. Number is greater than 1. All zeros to the right of the decimal point are significant. For example, like this number is there, 10.00. These two zeros will also be significant. Clear? All zeros to the right of the decimal point are significant if the number is more than 1. So this number will have 4 significant figures. Next, observe this one. All zeros to the right of the last non-zero digit after the decimal point are also significant. 10.5200, these two zeros will also be significant. So totally this number will have 6 significant figures. Listen. So all zeros to the right of the last non-zero digit after the decimal point. After the decimal point, right of the last non-zero digit, how many zeros are there? Those will also be significant. Okay. Next. So these are the different rules for identifying the significant figures. Okay. Next, after finishing of this, so significant figures means in any measurement, the number of digits which are certainly known plus one more uncertain digit will be called as the significant figures. Some rules are there to identify the significant figures. What are that rules is all non-zeros are significant without any regard to the location of the decimal point. 0 or zeros in between the two non-zero digits are significant without any regard to the location of the decimal point. Next, if the number is less than 1, all the zeros to the right of the decimal point and left of the first non-zero digit are not significant. Next, fourth one is having two rules. All zeros to the right of the decimal point, all zeros to the right of the decimal point are significant if the number is greater than 1. Next, all zeros to the right of the last non-zero digit after the decimal point are also significant. Next, after finishing this one, relating to the significant figures, rules for arithmetic operations. Rules for arithmetic operations. Clear? So here what to do, see. What is the, so in simple questions will be there. They will ask 3.12, 5.4, next 8.986. What is this value? Like that they will ask. Clear? It is just like 5th class, 6th class level question. What they will standard question this is. This will be like this. So here this is not simple. We had to do how to do that addition or subtraction, multiplication or division with regard to the significant figures. Significant figures is important here. So in addition or subtraction, after the decimal point, how many significant figures are there? You identify. So here how many significant figures are there? Just after decimal point, not the total number. After the decimal point, how many significant figures are there means 2. Here after the decimal point, how many are there? 1. Here how many are there? 3. So identify the significant figures after the decimal point in the case of addition or in the case of subtraction. Okay. Then rounding them. So which will have least number of significant figures. This number is having least number of significant figures, 5.4. Only one significant figure is there after the decimal point. Now, remaining numbers, rounding them to have one more significant figure. Clear? Remaining numbers, how many are there? Rounding them to have one more extra significant figure. Here one is there, na? Remaining numbers will have two significant figures after the decimal point. Already it is having only two significant figures after the decimal point. Then no need to do nothing about it. Next, for this, after the decimal point, three significant figures are there, rounding the number to two significant figures. So we have to discard 6. 6 is greater than 5, then previous digit will be increased by 1. Discarding digit is greater than, discarding digit will be greater than 5. Preceding digit will be added by 1. Discarding digit is less than 5. No need to do with the previous digit. Next, if the discarding digit is, that rules will be there. So here this is 8.99. Understanding? If I discard 6, this 8 will become 9 because 6 is greater than 5. So 11, 10, 15. Next then do the multiplication. 9 to 11, 10, 5, 15. 9, 3, 12, 12, 5, 17. So 17.51 is the answer. But answer also you have to round. Answer will have minimum significant figures. Here minimum is how much? 1. Final answer will also be rounded to have one significant figure. Here it is having two significant figures. So if you discard this 1, preceding digit will not be changed because that is less than 5. So answer will be 17.5. Is that clear? In addition or in subtraction, identify the number which is having less number of significant figures. Remaining numbers will be rounded to have one more significant figure. Then do that arithmetic operation. Then answer will be rounded, final answer will be rounded to have least number of significant figures. That is about addition and subtraction. I hope it is reaching to you. For example, 4.9, 5.836, 9.18532. Add this. For example, they gave. Here, how many it is having? This is having how many significant figures? 1. Here it is having 3. Here it is having 5. Okay. Then what to do? This one, as usual, you write. It is having 3, na? So round it to have two significant figures. So discard 6. Preceding digit will be increased by 1. So this value will be 5.84. This is greater than 5. So preceding digit will be increased by 1. Here 5 are there. We had to round it to have two significant figures. Discard 2. Preceding digit, nothing will happen. because that is less than 5. 2 is less than 5, preceding digit nothing will happen. Discard this 3. Preceding digit nothing changes because this is less than 5. Now 3 are there, discard 5. If this is 5, discarding digit is 5 and the preceding digit is even. No need to change the preceding digit. Preceding digit is odd. It will be increased by 1. Okay? So 5 you remove. Here preceding digit is not increased because this is even number. 8 is an even number. So if you discard 5 also, nothing will happen to the preceding digit. So this value 9.188 force 12. So 10, 19. So 9, 9, 18, 1, 19. 19.92. Here again answer will be rounded to have one significant figure. So discard that 2. Preceding digit will not change. So answer will be 19.9. This is the method. Just they gave add these 3 numbers means add all of that and don't write the answer. What is the procedure? Identify the number having least number of significant figures after the decimal point. Remaining numbers should be rounded to have one more significant figure. Do that arithmetic operation. Final answer will also be rounded to have only one significant figure. Next, after this addition, next subtraction. Subtraction also same procedure. 50.893 1.6 subtract this 2. Then what to do? Here after decimal point one significant figure is there. Here after decimal point 3 significant figures are there. Okay. Now round this to have 2 significant figures. 50.89. This value will be 1.6. Do that operation. 9 to 49.29. But final answer will have only one significant figure after the decimal point. So discard that 9. Preceding digit will be increased by 1. So 49.3 will be the answer. That is understanding? That is the rules for doing addition and subtraction. In multiplication and division, what to do? Multiplication and division, no need to consider the decimal significant figures after the decimal point. Consider the entire number and find the number which is having less number of significant figures. Do that arithmetic operation. Final answer will also have same number of significant figures. The point is clear? So 1.3, 5.478, 6.8932 per number. Okay. This will have totally how many significant figures? 2. This will have how many significant figures? 4. This will have how many significant figures? 5. Remaining numbers will be rounded to have one more extra significant figure. 1.3 you write it as same. Here 4 are there, na? round it to have 3 significant figures. Discard this 8. Preceding digit will be increased by 1. So 5.48. Here this is also rounded to have 3 significant figures. Discard this 2. Preceding digit will not change. Discard that 3. Preceding digit won't change. So this value 6.89. Do that multiplication. Final answer from value you will get. That will also have 2 significant figures. Like that you had to modify the answer. Clear? That is the way you have to follow for multiplication and division. Problems will be there on this. Definitely you will get a clear idea about this. So in this class what we told, we discussed about significant figures. What are significant figures? What are the rules to identify the significant figures we discussed. Later, using significant figures, how to do addition, subtraction, multiplication and division we discussed that one. For example, if it is square root, one number is there, 58.97 square root. Here its number, if we calculator using calculator, if you calculated 6.79697823 something is came. You remember root 58.97 will have 4 significant figures. Final answer will also have 4 significant figures. That is the logic. In the examinations, you are not allowed to use calculators. You are not able to calculate root 58.97 is how much. That will be very, very difficult. How the question will be there? Root 58.97 is equal to 4 options they will give. 7.67, 7.679, 7.6793, 7.6. What is the answer? Here, what is the logic here? It is having 4 significant figures. Final answer will also have 4 significant figures. So this is the answer. That is about this. And the last topic will be rounding of the numbers. What are the rules? Already you know about it. Rules for rounding of the numbers. Okay. If the discarding digit is greater than 5, preceding digit should be increased by 1. Clear? So, if it is 6918, then you discard this 8. So this value will be 6920. Clear? In that way you have to do. Next, discarding digit is less than 5. No need to do the preceding digit. 6913. This will be 6910. Next, is equal to 5. Discarding digit is 5. Observe the previous digit. If it is odd, that will be increased by 1. So 6920. If this is 6925, this value will also be how much? 6920. Clear? Discarding digit is greater than 5. Increase that preceding digit by 1. Discarding digit is less than 5. No need to do the preceding digit. Discarding digit is 5. Observe the preceding digit. If it is odd, increase it by 1. If it is even, no need to change this one. Clear? Next. This is the last topic. So, synopsis is completed. First we will go to the board booklet and we will do the problems. I think all of you are getting most of you, we can't say all of you. You are getting 2 booklets. On the one booklet, theory plus basic questions of NEET. Like that one booklet is there. Another booklet will be NEET booklet. 2 booklets will be you have. What is the first one? Theory plus basic questions for NEET. Like that one booklet. Another one will be NEET booklet. In that theory, all we did see that will be in the form of questions. What is measurement? How measured quantities are expressed? Describe briefly different types of system of units. Each and everything much more elaboratedly we discussed there. So next, after finishing of this, so see the difference. Page number 6 you see. There how many physical quantities they wrote the dimensional formulas. Around 15, 20 they wrote the dimensional formulas. We wrote 90 physical quantities dimensional formulas. Observe the difference. Board level questions will be simple. NEET level little bit beyond. Next level questions will be there. So everything we discussed that one. Next, what are the uses of the dimension analysis? Question number 21, page number 7. And everything one by one in the next question number 24. State the limitations of dimensional analysis. Types of errors. Significant figures. Next 34, 35. Everything we discussed there. Next, page number 12 you see all. Page number 12. In that page number 12 some problems are there. We will do that problems. Next, page number 13 also some problems are there. 8 questions. We will discuss that 8 questions. Next we will do the basic questions of NEET. Some 4, how many are there? 55, 14, 69 questions are there. Next, here 109 questions are there, and here it will be 33 in NEET. 142 questions are there. One by one gradually we will do. Understanding? So what is the procedure? So relating to the NEET, relating to the board, entire theory part is completed. Synopsis part it will be called. Next we will do first we will do the board booklet problems. After finishing of that, we will do the NEET booklet. Okay, in that way we will do. Next, now coming to the board booklet, page number 12, board booklet. What is the name on that? Theory plus basic questions for NEET. Like that, on that name it will be there. It will be there on the first page. Theory plus basic questions for NEET. Next in that first question. The force experienced by a charge Q moving with velocity v in a magnetic field B is given by F is equal to BQV. Find the dimensions of magnetic field. One charge is there, charge Q. It is moving with velocity v. A charge Q is there. It is moving with velocity v and it entered into a magnetic field. Then magnetic field applied a force F is equal to BQV. QVB or BQV all are same only. That is the force applied by that magnetic field on that charged particle when it entered into the magnetic field. Using that formula, find the dimensions of magnetic field. What is the dimensions of this field? Okay, simple. They gave one equation. Using that equation, you find the magnetic field. F is equal to QVB. Find the magnetic field dimensions. B is equal to F by QV. F value will be ml t power minus 2. F value, that value is equal to ml t power minus 2. Q value will be equal to Et. Velocity value will be Lt power minus 1. Is it clear? Force dimensional formula you know. mL power minus 2. Charge dimensional formula you know. At. You know or you don't know? You know na? You practiced all. Velocity dimensional formula will be Lt power minus 1. Then this T will cancel. L will cancel. M power minus 2. A power minus 1. That is the dimensional formula of magnetic field. M t power minus 2. A power minus 1. Okay, next. Second question. Find the conversion factor between SI unit and CGS unit of density. What is the conversion factor between SI unit and CGS unit? So here N1U1 is equal to N2U2. N1U1 is equal to N2U2. So what is the SI unit for density means kg per meter cube. 1 kg per meter cube is equal to how many gram per centimeter cube? That is the question. 1 kg per meter cube is equal to how many gram per centimeter cube? Here what will happen? Write the dimensions. Here N2. N2 value you have to find. Write the dimensions for that. Then what to do? Here dimensions will be M L power minus 3. Density dimensional formula M L power minus 3. Here density dimension formula same M2 L2 power minus 3. So N2 is equal to M1 by M2 L1 by L2 power minus 3. M1 will be kg. M2 will be gram. L1 will be meter. L2 will be centimeter. Okay. Then this value will be 1000 gram by gram. This value 100 centimeter by centimeter power minus 3. Gram will cancel. Centimeter will cancel. Then N2 is equal to 1000 means 10 cube. That is 10 square power minus 3 means that value is equal to 10 power minus 6. This value will be 10 power minus 3. Understanding? So what we can write? So 1 kg per meter cube is equal to 10 power minus 3 gram per centimeter cube. 1 kg per meter cube is equal to 10 power minus 3 gram per centimeter cube. This is the relation between SI and CGS units of density. Second question only, another part is there. What they are asking is page number 12 theory booklet I am discussing now. Remember, check whether the equation is dimensionally correct. Square is equal to u square plus 2as square. Second question only, one more part is there. B square is equal to u square plus 2as square. This equation is dimensionally correct or not? So left hand side v square is there. V dimensional formula will be LT power minus 1 whole square. This value L square T power minus 2. Left hand dimensional formula this one. Right hand side dimensional formula u square plus 2as square LT power minus 2. U is also called initial velocity. V will be called as the final velocity. Initial and final velocities will have same dimensional formulas, you remember. So LT power minus 1 whole square plus 2 into LT power minus 2 into L square. So this value L square T power minus 2 plus 2 into L cube T power minus 2. We cannot add this two. Why we cannot add means this is one physical quantity, this is another physical quantity. L cube T power minus 2, L square T power minus 2 we can't add. Clearly understanding? So this equation is dimensionally wrong. So for example, this is one quantity, this is another quantity. We can't add that different quantities, so that's why there will be, this equation is dimensionally wrong. Why wrong? This one we cannot add. Why we cannot add? Those are not having same dimensions. Since they are not having same dimensions, we cannot add them. Clear? Next, after finishing of that, Question number 3, you see what they are asking. See, question number 3. The frequency of vibration of a wire under tension depends upon T, mass per unit length M, vibrating length L of the wire. Using dimensional analysis, obtain the dependency of frequency on these quantities. So, frequency depending on tension, mass per unit length and length. Frequency depending on these three quantities. Then what is the formula for this? N, that is the question. So here what we will get is N is equal to K into T power X, M power Y, L power Z. Let it be equation 1. Okay? Then write the dimensional formulas on both sides. T power minus 1. This T will be tension. Tension means force. M, L, T power minus 2 power X. K is dimensionless. ML T power minus 2. This is not mass per unit length. So M, L power minus 1 power Y. This is L power Z. So write all powers at one place for MLT. T power minus 1, M power X plus Y, L power X minus Y plus Z, T power minus 2X. The points are clear? M power X plus Y, L power X minus Y plus Z, T power minus 2X. Comparing the powers of MLT on both sides. On comparing the powers of MLT on both sides, X plus Y is equal to 0. X minus Y plus Z is equal to 0. Minus 2X is equal to minus 1. Understanding? Here M power X plus Y, here no M na, means M power 0 is there. So X plus Y is equal to 0. X minus Y plus Z is equal to 0. Minus 2X is equal to minus 1. These we will get. Clear? From this, X value will be equal to 1 by 2. Substitute this X value here, you will get Y value. You keep this equation for final substitution. X, how much we got? 1 by 2. From 1, Y is equal to minus X. Y is equal to minus 1 by 2. Clear? Next. XY values you substitute in this equation, you will get Z value. X value is 1 by 2 minus Y value minus 1 by 2 plus Z is equal to 0. 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 will be 1. So Z value is equal to minus 1. So like that you find the, using that given what equations you got, by solving them you have to find the values of X, y and z. Substitute that values in equation 1. So equation 1, what is there? N is equal to k into t power x, t power 1 by 2, m power y, m power minus 1 by 2, l power minus 1. So this value n is equal to k by l root t by m. So like this we will get the value k is equal to 1 by 2l, n is equal to k by 2l into root t by m. So practically we can understand k value is 1 by 2. No need to write here. Just up to here if you write, that is enough. K value 1 by 2 if we substitute, final value will be 1 by 2l root t by m. This is the answer. Okay.